Hi, I'm Rodney Sharp, owner and president of SharpGrade International. Today we're going to talk about adjustable height hitch plates and why we have one. Okay, so we have our SharpGrade with our wheel and our pivot point and our blade, and we have our skid steer with our hitch plate on it. Now, all skid steers sit at a different height, and there's up to 5 inches of height difference between various models. Now, what happens if you do not have an adjustable hitch plate? Well, there's two things that have to happen. One, you either have to adjust the wheels or you have to try and make the skid steer fit, which is basically impossible to do. So some manufacturers try adjusting the front wheels. But what happens is when you lift the wheels up, you lift the chassis of the grading attachment up, and basically you run out of room or stroke, and the blade no longer, at 5 inches, no longer goes to the ground. So it goes way up in the air, but not down. So that's totally the wrong thing to do. So what we do is we adjust the hitch up and down in relation to the skid steer and the SharpGrade. So we set the SharpGrade level and we never alter that height. We alter the hitch plate in relation to the base machine. Now, some people say, well, we could make the hitch plate down low and we could just have the operator lift the boom up to solve it. Well, that is a very bad thing to do, and there's a couple of reasons why. So the first reason is that the operator now has to guess where to leave it each time, and we don't think that that's fair. So we make it so they drop the hitch plate or drop the boom down hard on the stops and put the wheels on the ground, and it's already set perfect. Now, the consequences of not having your SharpGrade square, or any grading attachments for that matter, is that the front blade and the rear blade will sit at different heights. And what will happen is you'll grade at a different height going forwards to reverse. But by having an adjustable hitch plate, we can set that height perfect on any base machine. But there's something else that's really important. By grading with the boom hard down on the stops, you're grading at the height that the manufacturer has set for the base machine to push at. And so they have the pivot point down as low as possible. And so it puts a horizontal load into the frame of the machine. Now, if you raise your boom up to get your SharpGrade or any attachment level, suddenly you start pushing on the boom itself, not on the chassis at the front. So what happens now is the machine, the base machine, wants to rise up because you're pushing at the rear, not at the base at the front. So that's one of the things that happens. It's very hard on your tracks. If you start lifting the boom, it's really hard on your tracks and you'll destroy your tracks. So we don't want that. So we want this down where the manufacturer designed the attachment to push at its hardest, is right down. So that's what happens then. That also takes all the flex out of the boom, and very important if you're running a vertical lift boom with multiple linkages. It's extremely hard on them by grading when your boom is up. So it means that you get a good straight push. But the other benefit that you have is when this is down and the boom is on the stops, hard on the stops, we can transfer any load directly into the base machine, which means we can now trim with it. Whereas if you raise it up, you'll just twist the boom. If you're cutting hard, you'll just twist the boom because it's, 6 to 8 feet away from the pivot point, whereas here we're right down, right at the front, right where it matters. The other thing to consider is any wheeled machine or track machine with suspension sink over time. So tyres wear, so that causes the hitch plate to sink. And all machines with suspension, they will sag up to 1.5 inches over the life of their machine. So that means that the back of the SharpGrade will slowly sink down. And by having an adjustable hitch plate, you can just slide it down to slide it back up and get the SharpGrade level. So we can run a SharpGrade on new machines, old machines, basically anything. So having an adjustable hitch plate looks very innocuous, but it solves several problems. So one, it means that we can run the SharpGrade perfectly level, so we can get the same height cutting forward and reverse. We do not alter any part of the SharpGrade height, so that's critical for accurate grading. Secondly, we push from the bottom instead of pushing from the top. That's a lot easier on your tracks, so you don't damage your tracks. And thirdly, we can transfer the weight of the base machine into the SharpGrade through the rigid quad rod linkages straight into the blade, so we can trim where others can't. So a SharpGrade can trim compacted surfaces where others can't. So it looks very innocuous, but the adjustable hitch plate is absolutely critical to getting ultimate performance out of a box blade. And that's why we have it as standard features on all SharpGrades. We do not make any SharpGrades that do not have an adjustable hitch plate. So if you'd like any more information, please feel free to visit us, www.sharpgrade.com. There you'll find links to our products, information, and our dealers throughout the world. Please feel free to reach out at any time. We'd be more than happy to assist, and thank you for your time.